Episode 1. The Lens. 9 months without a charge. On my 35th birthday, I was escorted in shackles to a room no larger than a closet. 9 months earlier, I had entered the valley without knowing whether I would leave on my own or be made to leave. There are moments in life when events feel temporary, negotiable. This was not one of them. This was something quieter. A rearrangement conducted without spectacle. It was not a criminal trial. It was an immigration final hearing. No jury, no gallery, no raised voices, just a screen, a file, and the steady machinery of decision. You might go home to the life you started, or you might be sent somewhere you no longer belong, all of it resting on a conversation conducted through a lens. This is what it looks like when freedom becomes procedural. Not taken in a single blow, reassigned in increments. A form here, a delay there, a ruling typed into a record. They fastened the shackles loosely, almost courteously. Not tight enough to bruise, tight enough to remind. The restraint was administrative, not theatrical, just procedure. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead as if nothing of consequence were occurring. That was the unsettling part. No visible hostility, only order, only sequence. Modern confinement does not require rage. It requires compliance with the process. From the outside, the room resembled an office. White panels, narrow windows, a brushed metal handle. It did not look like a place where futures were decided. I stepped inside. The space was barely larger than a closet. Black acoustic panels absorbed sound until even my breathing seemed moderated. A desk fixed to the floor, a monitor at eye level, a camera positioned above it, and at the center, a lens no larger than a coin. So much authority passing through something so small. The air carried the sterile scent of disinfectant and recycled ventilation. Institutional air has its own neutrality. It belongs to no one. The officer removed one cuff and let the remaining chain rest against the desk.
"Good luck,"
he said. It was neither warm nor cold, simply human. A quiet acknowledgement that the next movement belonged to someone else. The door closed without ceremony. No echo, no spectacle, just a seal. For a moment there was only the hum of light and the knowledge that outside this room the day would continue uninterrupted. The screen flickered. A courtroom materialized. Bookshelves in symmetry behind a raised bench. A seal mounted high on the wall. An American flag barely visible at the edge of the frame. At the center sat the judge. He did not look at me first. He looked at the file. Paper before person. Record before voice. Allegation before explanation. The order was instructive. "Good morning," someone said. My voice, when it answered, did not quite belong to me. It returned through wires and speakers, slightly delayed, as if even sound required processing. I saw myself in the corner of the screen, smaller than I felt, contained within the boundaries of a rectangle. I looked into the lens. It was a black circle no larger than a button. That was where composure had to land. Not on expression, not on reaction, on steadiness. Appear calm, appear measured, appear worthy. My hands trembled. Not dramatically, just enough to register the body's awareness of stakes. I pressed them flat against the desk, widening my fingers, as if surface area could compensate for gravity. Everything depended on how steady I appeared. Not only my freedom, Aspen. We had bought a house. We had stood in an empty living room discussing where a couch might go, as if arrangement were a declaration of permanence. We had walked through unfurnished rooms imagining echoes that had not yet occurred. She walked barefoot across the kitchen tile in the morning. The sound was soft, unhurried. She said my name differently when she was thinking, stretching the first syllable as if testing the shape of a future. We had chosen names for children who did not yet exist. We had spoken of timelines as if time were cooperative. Waiting alters people. It thins certainty first, then patience, then imagination. I was not afraid she would stop loving me. I was afraid the uncertainty would exhaust her, that hope would begin to feel like maintenance. Arguments moved across bandwidth. Legal phrases converted a life into entries, dates, categories, paragraphs. My name followed by numbers, compliance, discretion, deportation. Words that carry no emotion and yet determine destiny.
Your Honor,
My attorney said, leaning toward his microphone.
I'd like to ask Adam a few questions.
Wade Sloan had practiced law longer than I had been alive. His posture held the calm of someone who had watched countless futures tilt on a single sentence. He did not rush. He did not dramatize. He measured words the way surgeons measure incisions, enough to reach the problem, not enough to wound unnecessarily. He did not perform. He did not posture. He executed, and that was enough.
For the record, please state your full name and date of birth to the court.
I swallowed. Adam Saad. January 7th, 1991. The hearing date was January 7th, my birthday. No one acknowledged the symmetry. Systems do not pause for symbolism. 9 months in detention. 9 months. The length of a gestation. No charge, no conviction, no sentence. Only duration. Only waiting. I had entered the valley in the spring. I was answering for my life in the winter. On the day I was born, I was waiting to learn whether I would be allowed to keep the life I have built for the past 10 years.
How did you come to be arrested by immigration authorities?
The question arrived without emphasis. It did not need it. It had been forming in my mind for months. The fluorescent light hummed. The chain rested lightly against the desk. The judge's gaze remained steady. 9 months. No charge, no conviction, no sentence. A courtroom can grant your freedom. It cannot return your time. I looked into the lens. What I said next would not simply describe the past. It would define it. Interpretation determines outcome. I opened my mouth. There is a moment before speech when the future still exists in multiple forms, when silence remains available. In that moment, the past was no longer memory. It was evidence. I began. This is Out of the Valley's Shadow, based on real events.